Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I am here today to show you my wee flower fairies journal. Sorry, I have kind of purple fingers. I was doing some stuff in here and just got it all over me and couldn't get it off. So anyways, yeah, I thought we'd do a flip through of this, and then I'm going to start on the new kind of a tag book more than a journal. So anyway, this measures, and this one's already sold, so if for some reason Tina doesn't like it, then it'll be in my shop, but as far as I know, it's sold. So 9.5 by 8 1/4, 8 1/8 roughly. I mean, that's not with this back part. Okay, so with the back part it's 9 3/4. So it's a manila file folder that made the pocket and the cover for the journal, and so that the journal just slides right out of the pocket. The pocket has fabric on the sides, and there's videos for all of this, so if you if you're just joining me right now, there are videos for each step, and it's in my playlist under file folder fairy journal, and so that'll show you each step that I've done. But anyway, there's the manila file folder pocket that the journal goes into, and I've done sort of like what you would do for a topper for a journal, but you can see it's very, very dimensional. So we did that together the last time. And then we have our journal, which is 9 by 6. That's pretty much what I stick to for my standard size. It's actually 9 by 12 if you took the whole file folder and opened it up, but 9 by 6 cover, so that an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper can be folded in half and used for the pages. Okay, so we have just a kind of a organza type tie on here. I think that's what this stuff is called. I don't really know. It's kind of a rayon type fabric, very, very flowy. And then here we have one of the wee flower fairies there on the front, and then this flower is also in that digital kit. I've put on a piece of like a table runner type piece that I got from Karen. I just cut the flower out, and I know a lot of that gets covered, but I liked it because it has that gold shimmery thread in it, so it shines a little bit. And then this is a piece of collage paper, then the fairy and the flower, and this was made by my sister, this little cluster here, fabric cluster, and she did some slow stitching flowers on it. I added the eyelash trim behind it just for, it just went well with this journal. And then it has a lace over this same purple fabric underneath, with the lace over the top on the spine. And then I spattered this with Tim Holtz oxide inks, and the white is acrylic paint, and that's just a regular standard manila file folder. I've folded the sides of the file folder in, and I cut it down to 9 inches tall this way, and then folded the sides in. So these are the actual tabs that are on the file folder here, and I've just put some fabric on those just in a little cluster, and the eyelash trim, and then collaged all on the inside of the journal here. And this little tag booklet is, these tags are from LenArteStudio minus the fairy there. That's one of the fairies that's in my wee flower fairies digital download, and then it's LenArteStudio, and I'll try to remember to have a link to their shop for these tags. And I just put the tags together in a row like that because they have them separately so that you can print them each separately, but I printed them all right next to each other, and then just added some paper left over from making this journal, different jelly prints and pieces from the actual digital kit. This is a piece that I spattered with you guys, that one of the first things I did. So that just tucks in there, and then we have our digital download there, and this backing is also in that same wee flower fairies. This is some old composition notebook where a child was, writing their spelling words or whatever. This is green food dyed paper that my niece made for me. And then this is out of a book about flowers or bushes and plants and all that. And this is the digital kit. This is also the digital kit. And then we did a guest check, an altered guest check, and I added one of the wee flower fairies. And this is the original flower that I made, and you know, to make the pages for this. And then there's a pocket here with a journaling card, and that's just done on a library card. And then there's another card back here. And there's videos on all these things. I think I did some of the cards and tags by myself, but most everything in here is in a video. And then here's a little paper clip that we did together, and then I did this card myself. This was a piece of masterboard, collage masterboard, and then I just added some fabric and stuff here, and the little fairy, and some fabric up at the top. And that just tucks behind the paper clip. And this paper clip can be moved anywhere. That's an altered paper clip that looks like a tag, but you can put it anywhere in the journal. And then this is a piece out of the digital that's been put on a manila file folder to write on. That's more of the kit, and so is that. And then this is out of a botanical little book that I have. This is shorthand. And then this little envelope pocket we made together. It's like a business window envelope. You can see the start of the window there, but you can see it more on the other side, and I just stitched it into the signature so it's all in there. And then this is the flap of the envelope, and that little image is in the digital kit. These are the LenArteStudio tags. I just tucked them back there. And then in this side pocket, from cutting the side of the envelope off, we have this little tag and just fabric and stuff up here, trims and such. And then on this side we have more of the wee flower fairies. This isn't a fairy, it's a gnome, obviously, and then a frog. And purple paper, and this page is out of the kit. I print on both sides, that's how I get that effect. I just put the paper back into my printer and do both sides. This is a piece of Edith Holden book page, and one of the mushrooms from the digital kit, just glued down there. Just did a little pocket from a piece of the collage masterboard, added a mushroom and one of my doilies from my shop. Those are laser cut doilies. And then this is one of the images in the kit. And these little frames like this, these label frames, are also in my shop. And then there's just a piece of washi back there. And then these two tags, this one's in the kit, and then this one I made using a piece of the collage masterboard again, one of the mushrooms from the kit, and one of the fussy cuts from the kit, the fairies there. And the ladybug. And then that's another page, a doily, and then this is images from the digital fussy cuts, flowers and a fairy, and more of the food color dyed paper, and then more from the kit there. And same with this, and this is another book page. And I just added, this is one of the original mushrooms, the collaged mushrooms that I made for this kit, and then the fussy cuts there. I just shrunk these down. If you're wondering how I got them so small, because they're not this small in the kit. When you get it, they're a larger size, but I just printed them smaller. And then like two pages to one page is how I did that. And this is another book page, and this is also from a kid's book. And then more of the digital kit, and then we have the dragonflies in the middle, and these are also in the digital kit. And then more of the paper from the digital, and the book pages again. More colored paper. And then this little guy on a flower, those are fussy cuts from the digital kit. And then this is from the digital, these are those flowers I was telling you about in the beginning. And then this little pocket we made together, and this is a bag that held, this one, particular one, held pie, but you can also use the little bags that you get from restaurants that hold like the plasticware or the silverware or whatever. and I just covered this part of it with images from the digital kit, and then glued this tag from the digital kit with a hinge to the bag to get that little flip. Just added fabric up here, and then there's a journaling card there that's had fabric and trims added, and then the same, there's a large long tag here with a fussy cut. That looks like that's coming up. So this is a great way to find out what might need a little more glue. You think you get it all, but man, every once in a while something pops up on you. Oh, that one needs it too, her shoe. So it's a great way to catch those things before it goes to its forever home. And that's just going to tuck right down in there. Oopsie. And then the blue paper and a flower from the fussy cut out of the kit. And this page with the fairy. And I did some lighter pages so that when, if you're backing, you can write over this easily. Added the bee and the fairy there on the yellow page. And then I made this one. This one I don't have a video for. This is just the journaling card that's in the digital kit. I've taken another piece of paper, folded it in half, and glued one part of it onto this, this card here. And then the other side I cut the same once I folded it in half, just cut it the same size, and then put a thumb notch in it and have another little journaling spot here. And this is some paper that it's a jelly plate print using large bubble wrap, square bubbles. And I just added, this is actually from my Croak digital download, I believe. It's either my Ribbit or my Croak. It's one of my Frog digital downloads. And then the dragonfly is in the fussy cuts of this Wee Flower Fairies kit. The other side of the Edith Holden page, more from the kit. And then the purple paper with the flower again. And then this one is the other side of the envelope and the journaling tag there. And I just added, a little bit of fabric to the top, and then just a little one there that says wish. And that was given to me in Happy Mail for my birthday. So that just goes in there. And in the digital kit, there's a cover for a number 10 window envelope. And so that's what's covering this one. And then I added a stamp in one of the little fairies fussy cut. And then there's more of the LenArteStudio tags there, these two. And then this is just a piece of the collage board. I didn't do anything else to it. I just liked it like that. So it goes right in there. Just more writing space. Some shorthand and another book page. I just added fussy cuts onto the plain papers here and there. And like this bird is in the digital kit. And then this is the one we did not too long ago. It's a piece of the paper from the digital kit, and I've just sprayed it and inked it with Tim Holtz inks on the back. And then it opens up this way as well. This is paper from the kit, and so is this. And then just put a thumb notch there so that you can slide a couple tags in. These are on manila file folder scraps. So let's just go in there. And then in this pocket, which is just from folding the paper over, you have a little thumb notch there. There's another large piece of the collage board that I made before I started this kit. I like to do that because I often use them as backgrounds or other little bits and pieces. You can see kind of in here is the collage board. And then there's another kit page and a mushroom. That's one of the original mushrooms. That's not just copy paper. Book page there. And this is the kit. And then back at the back we have that's another piece of the file folder that has been folded over. And this is another collage cluster slow stitch that my sister made for me. Thank you, Megan. And she's doing well, by the way, so thank you everybody for your prayers. I so appreciate it, and I know she does too. It was so kind of you, all of you who said something nice and said you were praying for her. So I thank you so much. She's doing very well. And then just some fabrics and laces and such stitched there. And then another little journaling card. And that goes in there, and it's been signed. So it is all ready to go to its home. So the next thing we're going to do is I got a tag because I did the tag challenge type thing for my birthday. I had my 50th birthday, and so I asked people if they wanted to send me a tag or a some kind of journaling card or whatever, and I would make tag books. My friend Celeste sent me this one, and she's Woodland inspired on YouTube. And so it right away, right when I saw it, all I could think of was tag book. Like, I just thought this would be a really fun tag book. Instead of a tag shape, it's a ticket shape, but you know, same idea. However, I did run into a few snafus on that whole project, so I'm going to tell you guys how to avoid that. So when you are making these tag shapes, if you're making just one, easy peasy, right? You just cut your paper the size that you want it and just take your circle punch or whatever, you know, to make the little divots in there. Well, that is very easy to do. But then when you're trying to make multiples and make them line up, and you can see even still they're not like totally perfect because it's not done by a machine. I did these myself. So I took a piece of rectangular paper, and this paper is real thick. This is very, I don't even know because I don't have the packaging for it anymore, but it's a very thick, let's see if I can get my light a little better. I'm struggling with my lights lately. It's a very thick cardstock, and it's just in craft, and I'm trying to use it up, and I don't have the packaging anymore, so I don't know exactly what the weight is for this one, but it's a pretty heavyweight one, which is great for doing these tag books because, you know, they're not floppy or anything like that. And I cut it at 5 by 7, so that's what this, or not 5 by 7, 5.5 by 7.5. I think hers was 5 by 7. I wanted it just a little bit bigger because I'm going to use my beach kit, Fun at the Beach, and I just wanted to be able to fit a decent size image on there, you know. So they're 5.5 by 7.5, so you'll need to cut yourself 6 of those, 5.5 by 7.5. And then the trick is, and I'll try to show you because you'll see this is one of the first ones that I did. And when I tried to line this one up, there's just a little, see how it's just a little off and a little off, and it's off down here and it's off down here. So what I discovered was to get them as close as I could get them doing it myself, you know, not having a machine do it, was to cut the 5.5 by 7.5 piece of paper. I cut this one at 5 by 7. And then what I did to make it easier, after I chomped one corner, I traced it onto another piece of paper. So just had one corner done and traced it. And then I took that piece of paper after I got all 4 corners done, and I traced the little edges again. And I know that seems crazy, but I tried a few different, see, I didn't even do that great. I tried a few different ways of doing it, and I just didn't have any luck. I even marked on my circle punch where to cut or where to line it up, and I still didn't get it right. So I took and I did all 6 pages this way by drawing the little half circle on there like that, and then you can see right here there's a black spot and a black spot. That's where I was trying to line it up and do each one individually, but it just didn't work. So so then I just line it up this way and punch, and that was just the easiest way to get them all the same, because otherwise you can't get them all the same. They just don't, it just doesn't line up right. And then you also have to make sure once you do this that these just fly too, that you have them all going in the same direction, because if I take this one and flip it over this way, it's not going to line up right. So it's got to be going this way. And once you have that, then you can get them all to line up. And I'm going to put these off to the side because this is the messed up one. I marked it so I knew. I mean, I can use them by themselves for something else. They're great. But that's how I would do this. If you know a better way, or you have a fail-proof system or something, or if you have something that could chomp all of them at once, that would probably be great, but I didn't. So that's how I got mine as close as I could to all the same size. And like I said, they're still not perfect, because if you even cut one piece of paper a tiny bit bigger than another, and by a tiny, I mean like not even probably a 1/16 of an inch, then you're just going to get a little bit of variation. So, but this was as close as I could get. So you got to make sure they're all facing the same direction. You can tell when you feel it. And like I said, this one is a tiny bit off. But I think it'll be fine once it's all bound, because I'm obviously never going to, like, I'm not a machine, right? So I'm not going to be able to get it tabs lined up perfectly. So I think it's fine the way it is, but just thought I'd tell you guys that. So don't like go, oh, this is easy, clip, clip, clip on every page, because then when you stack them all together, they're not going to line up. So that's just a little tip that I have for trying to make sure they line up. So I want to try something on a piece of this before I move forward, because I do want to play with a little bit of color on these, because the kit is so colorful, but I also kind of want it to be grungy too. And I don't know if I want to do rust or this pumpkin, carved pumpkin or rust. I'm thinking the carved pumpkin's probably going to be the best with the kit, but I don't know. What did I do? Oh, there that. Okay. I have my microphone like hanging right in front of my face right here, so I can't always totally see everything I'm doing all at the same time. So I'm going to put some of this on here. That's the pumpkin. And then I'm going to try the rusty hinge. And see, this is how I get my fingers all covered in ink. I'm not sure which one of these is going to be better. Oh, well, maybe the rusty hinge will be better. I don't know that I want it quite as bright as that. There isn't a whole lot of difference between the two of those. That is crazy. Okay, let's see. So with this, and if you have any questions about these, please ask, because I know like that is a little bit confusing. I think I like the rusty hinge. I mean, both of them would work, truly, because that's a little more rusty, this is a little more orange, so I guess either one would work just fine. And then I have these two. I have the Blueprint Sketch and the Mermaid Lagoon, so I'll probably use those. Put that with that so I don't mess it up. Okay. So I guess we will just get started and do kind of one at a time, and I'll show you how I bind it. It's probably going to be like little pieces of paper, tabs of paper, or not paper, fabric that I'm going to use to hold it together. So anyway, how y'all doing? I hope you're having a great day. Sorry, I just jumped right into that because I was like, I want to show this journal. I want to show them how I'm making this book. So yeah, got a little excited. Sorry about that. But I hope you're all well and staying healthy and dry is our problem. We are just getting so much rain, which is great because of course we can use it, but wow, it has been crazy here with the rain. So anyhow, that's always interesting when it starts that pouring down thing every day. I get over it real quick because like I said, I am from the desert and it's just weird when it does that day after day after day. Kind of puts me in a foul mood, I'm gonna say. Okay, I'll take off this little bit down here. I'm definitely a fair weather person. I don't like any extremes. Heat, wet, cold, whatever. You can have it. I don't like it. I'm kind of bummed because the bird is going to get torn off. Sorry, birdie. I'm probably going to have to tear him off a little bit more than that. I think what I'll do is purposefully, because I want to be able to see some of this, especially if I go to the effort of grunging it up and everything, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of see if I can't tear that to make it not there, basically. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Can you tell? I'm just kind of floundering at this point in time. I just want to kind of get an idea of how I want to do these, and I don't know yet because I just finished the other journal, so I haven't really had any time to think about it a lot. Okay. Yeah, I think that will work. So I think I'm going to go ahead with the rest for now, and then if I decide I want more orange, I will use the carved pumpkin. Could definitely use the walnut stain or any of those things too. Antique photo, or yeah, antique photo, vintage photo. I don't always want to say antique. Vintage photo. Or the blues. I think I'm going to go around this too. Yeah, so I'm going to have to be really cognizant of up and down and all of that, which is tricky. So if you have a way of punching those with something that will be the same on each one, that would probably be the easiest. But we're going to have to just try to remember to check to make sure they're going the same direction. I never even thought about that when I thought this would be a good idea. I just went with it, right? Because that's what we do. We just go. Alright, what do I want to put on there? Something. Old paper. Just want a little something under there. Like I said, I haven't totally thought about it yet. This book just disintegrates. Disintegrates. So we went to the friend of my daughter, the wedding. I mean, they're our friends too, the parents. But it's just so crazy to see those kids getting married. But awesome. I mean, they're a great couple, and it's very sweet. It's just nuts to think all those kids could be married. But it was fun. It's a very nice wedding. Very small, very nice. I liked it. Much more personal that way, I feel like. And it rained. But it's okay, because at least it was inside, thankfully. I was like, this rain, I'm telling you. But at least they didn't have to get all wet. My niece got all wet at hers, which was kind of a bummer, but that was also a super nice wedding. Yeah, I'm just going to do stuff like that, I think. Just kind of whatever comes to me and I feel like doing is what I'm going to do. How does that sound? So I know this isn't like what you would consider a traditional journal, but I mean, I think all of these types of things are definitely relevant because it's all stuff you can do with the same supplies, and I really enjoy making these kind of smaller you know, versions sometimes. Especially after I do a journal. Not that that last one was huge or anything, but I did the frog one before that, which was kind of a wow thing. And so it's just kind of nice to do a smaller one. And I love doing any of these type of things where I can use the Tim Holtz stuff or all that. I like this old book. It's got lots of numbers and stuff in it. That was a great find. I just found it at a thrift store. It was from 1906, I think. And yeah, I just love it with all the numbers, and it had great pictures in it, and that's what I used for my industrial digital download. And I think I used some of the photos in it for my Rust and Numbers digital download too, so it was a great find. It was just one of those fluke things too, which is even better. My son's here playing video games, so if you hear what sounds like a man talking, I mean, technically he is an adult now. It's just so weird. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, he just has a really deep voice. It's like, yeah, he does. But yeah, it's good. He's done with school. Obviously, he graduated. He's just been working and playing, which is good. Yeah, I loved making this kit. It was just a lot of fun because of the old pictures. They're funny, and then, you know, the bright colors. It's just a good one. So I think what I'm gonna do also, which I didn't mention, is I'm gonna bind it so that it flips up instead of this way. So we'll put the tabs at the top and then flip them, you know, you can flip it that way. Just thought that might be fun, something different, right? Oh, it'd be kind of fun to put this. I don't know why. Maybe not on this page. Maybe we'll put it on a different one. Yeah, because it kind of looks like it's poking him in the bum. Now I gotta figure out. Yeah, it's this way. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're going to do the other side first. But I was like, oh no, this is the problem we're going to have, right? Alright, so then on the other side, I thought maybe we could put a pocket or something. But do we want, maybe we can put her on up higher and then put a pocket across the bottom. Just to have a few places to tuck things. All the birds are going to be lost on this project. Maybe not the whole project, but yeah, I think that will work. Let's just take some of this edge off over here. Oh, somebody mentioned, and I just did it right there. Did you see that? So up here at the top, it was this wide, and then as I tore, I pulled out, and I only had pressure up here and down here. So that middle part still was able to slide away. Somebody was mentioning that they have trouble using their tear ruler. So really and truly, I know it sounds insane, and everybody says, oh, I do put pressure on it and all that, and I get it because I struggle with it too sometimes. But you have to put pressure wherever you're tearing, because you still have a tendency, not just you, everybody, to pull the paper out that way when really what you're wanting to do is pull it down. So just, I don't know, that's the only suggestion I can give, is maybe if it helps until you really figure it out, just to move your hand down to wherever you're tearing so that that paper doesn't slide out from under. Because I know it seems like if you go like this, because it seems that way to me too, that you should have enough pressure to hold that paper down, but it still can move out in the middle. So yeah, I totally get it. It's tricky to use for sure. It just takes some time to play with and learn. But I mean, they're great. I love mine. But they can be kind of a pain. So I might scoot it down just a tiny bit, because like I said, we are going to put the tabs of fabric up there. So I think that's why this works well if you do stuff like this, because if it covers a little bit of that, it's not a big deal. But I don't really want to cover my picture, right? So I'm going to scoot it down just a little and sort of do the same thing I did before. Here's another piece of this. This has more numbers and such. But yeah, that's my best advice with that, is it's really just about the pressure and where you put it. But it did take me a while to figure it out too, believe me. It's just one of those things that you gotta play with. I know it can be super frustrating though. So, but for some reason, we as humans have a tendency, I think, to pull out that away instead of straight down, like I was saying. It's just kind of how you do it. It's not like you thought about it. And then it gets out away from you. Oh, we need to ink this side too. I need to get out the daubers for the blues, because I could use those too. Oh, I do have the... We're just going to mix this up a little, make it as grungy as we want. Some blue. Get this glued on. And especially if you're new to paper crafting, don't be hard on yourself, because, you know, I've been doing paper crafting of some kind for over 20 years, so you can't, you know, look at the way I do it and think, oh, why can't I do it that fast or that like that? And it's just like everything. You just gotta kind of like train your brain and figure out what works best for you. And, you know, maybe that ruler isn't your thing. I mean, that's just a possibility as well. So, this is Tim Holtz tissue. But that's what I've discovered about it anyways, is you just gotta really hold it where you're tearing, or it just doesn't want to work. And I'm not worried about the flat line down here, because that's going to get covered by a pocket anyway, so it's fine. I should make some tags out of book page. I've got a ton of those. Oh man, I've been trying to think today of how to do the Marguerite Miller Collage Challenge for tomorrow. This is the weirdest assortment of stuff in the world. I'm just like, I don't even know. I'm gonna have to play with that when I'm done doing this. It's oh my gosh. It is crazy. Crazy. I think I might take some more of that. I have more right here. Just kind of want to put some over. Sticking to me. Like, it seems like it might be fun to just kind of take a piece of it and put it over that. And I have pretty good luck with this, putting the glue directly on this. Some tissues are harder, but this seems to hold up pretty good, I feel like. And then a pocket out of what do I want to make the pocket out of? We could do the seashells. That would be kind of fun. If I can find them. Oh, I could do the pictures. Sorry, I'm not having luck here. I found the seashells on the envelope cover, but I want just seashells. Wherever they are. There's a strip, but that's not big enough. Oh, there it is. Okay, and I am going to have to back it because it's on thin. So let's use a piece of manila file folder because that'll work. Just a scrap here. And I could fold over the edges. And this has a natural fold right here that we could take advantage of. The bottom of the file folder. So it could be like that. And then we'll have to round those corners, but I'm going to wait till I get it on there. Yeah, see, I think that will be cute. And then we can decorate that with some whatchamacallit. Seashells. That's the word. Sorry, I was looking for this. Words, I'm telling you, they get me. Oh my gosh, it's already been 42 minutes. Oh my gosh. I'll try to do this fast. So, roughly 1/2 inch is what I'm going for here on each side. And that's the 5-inch side. So if I cut it at 5.5, I guess I didn't do a half. It was closer to a quarter. It's fine. So let's turn it this way. We score at 5. It's a little bit bigger than the other one. And I know the valley and the mountain and all of that, but I don't care. I mean, certain papers I do because I don't want them to crack because they're nice, you know, like scrapbook papers or whatever. I'm going to cut just a little bit off so they're the same. But for this, it's fine. And then we're going to cut out the little corner right there too. Kind of at an angle and then an angle. Like that. To make our little pocket. And that is a little thicker than I might have wanted. I probably should have just used book page. But it'll be fine. And then we're going to have to cut out the corners of the pocket too. You know what? I think that's going to just be too thick. And it's not wide enough. How did I do that? This is 5, isn't it? Oh, 5.5. Yeah, 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to get my wish after all, and I'm going to use book page. You guys are probably like, wow, she's great at this. But that just goes to show you, we all mess up sometimes, right? Okay. And these little tabbies don't have to be perfect behind here. Like, it's not that big of a deal. As long as they're from the front, as long as it looks normal from the front, then you're good. Okay, so we're going to try this again. I'm going to go just a little more than that, barely, barely. So these are the pages I've already glued something together on. Book page. So use them for crazy stuff like this. And then I'll make that part the bottom. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect as far as the flap. You want it to look right from the front, but yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut off the extra here. And I'm going to cut my corners again, and they will also probably get punched because that's gonna be required for our little tag. Yeah, that's way easier than the file folder was. Okay, so that's something we got to think about there. Need a pencil. This is the first time I've done this, so I hope you guys understand. It might be a little bit of a train wreck till I can figure this out. Or it might be a train wreck the whole time, who knows, but you know. Okay, so I'm going to have to figure out what's going to happen once I cut this. Where did I stick that? Oh, I did put it away. I just couldn't see it. As far as gluing. It fits. More on this side. It's probably fine, really, if you just put a little glue down there at the bottom. Sorry, I did not mark that well, did I? Yeah, I think it'll work just fine. Okay, so on the inside what we're going to have is this kind of thing. But what we'll do when we glue it down is once this is glued and this flap is glued, I mean, I guess if you really tried you could poke through something through that corner, but I don't think that it's gonna be like that, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's put these back in here for now before I dry my glue out. And then I can't use it. Oh, we also need a thumb notch on that. Okay. So we'll get this on here and then we'll probably stop for today. And we will move on with it next time. So I'm just going to glue here. And I'm going to put a little more glue on the inside of this flap because, as always when you're using these glue pages, because you have glued stuff together mainly in the center of the page, a lot of times the edges don't get glued. So it's not a huge thing, but you might want these to stay together, obviously. Might work better for you. Oops. Stuck my thumb right through that. So I'm going to come all the way to the tip of that to make sure that those corners hopefully glue well. That one's not glued either. Okay. Hopefully I can do this without gluing everything closed. And I'm not going to be too sad if this does get a little more glued there. You know what I'm saying? And not quite as gussety. Just because I want it to stay, obviously. Okay, I think it's going to be good. I just need to let it dry. And if we have to come back with some glue, we will. All right, so that's where we're going to stop today. I know we didn't get a whole lot done, but at least if you get your 5.5 by 7.5 inch pieces of paper cut, 5.5 by 7.5, and then cut out these. And like I said, I would do one corner, trace all your other, you know, pieces, get them all traced out, and then use one of the other ones to do your first one, and then punch all the corners that way instead of trying to just wing it, because I'm telling you it won't line up. And if you're just doing one, it doesn't matter, you can just punch them as long as they're pretty close. Like I use that to get the same size, but they just don't line up perfectly. So the best way I found after playing with it for a little while was to do the tracing like I showed you in the beginning. So 5.5 by 7.5 and get your little corners notched, and then you guys, I did it upside down. I mean, I guess if you're flipping it, yeah, I guess that would work, huh? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that though. Were you guys screaming at me that it was upside down? But I guess that would work. If you're going to flip it up, you would want this one right side up, and you'd want your, but then your tags are always going to be upside down that are in there. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. All right. I will be back with this again, and we will chat again soon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Chat later. Bye now.